Yeah, no. Yeah, it should be that top button on there.
Welcome in, everybody. We're here live at the Cardinals Baseball Complex on the campus of Scott County High School for a 42nd District Baseball matchup. Tonight's game is between the Cardinals of Scott County and the Defenders of Bryan Station. Lineup for Bryan Station. Batting first for Bryan Station, number 12, Haynes Ratliff. Second is Jordan Carter. Third is Siobhan Robinson. Fourth is Logan Wilhort. Sixth is Bryce Barkis. Bryce Brooks. We'll be right back after the national anthem. We're back here after the national anthem. Batting fifth for Bryan Station is 22 Bryce Brooks. Seventh is Samuel Wilkerson. Eighth is Eli Hale. After him is Jace Jones. And then Austin Davis, number 1. In the field for Scott County, Garrett Sparks at first, Will Rose at second, Sebastian Arden at shortstop, Parker Dotson third base. The outfielders, Carson Murray in left field, Justin Stevenson center field, Keegan Hurt right field. Luke Huffman is behind the plate, and on the mound tonight for Scott County is the senior number 53, Jack Wilhite. Jack comes to his game with 29.2 innings pitched, 16 hits, 14 runs, 9 earned runs, 2 wins, 55 strikeouts, and a 2.73 ERA. Umpires for tonight's game, Ty Brown in the field, and Mark Stevens is behind the plate. Wilhite gets warmed up here and is ready for his... Sorry. Here we go. Scott County wearing the black and white camo tops with the red letters, white pants, and the black and white hats. Bryan Station wearing the green tops, yellow numbers with white pants and the yellow hats. Luke Huffman throws down the second base. Scott County infielders are going to gather around Jack Wilhite on the pitcher's mound. And number 12, Haynes Ratliff, walks up to the plate. Haynes comes into this game with 43 at-bats, 15 hits, 6 runs, 3 RBIs, and a 349 batting average. Here is the first pitch of tonight's game. And it's ball 1. 1-0 pitch. That ball is fouled out of play over the Scott County dugout. First base line. Scott County's game versus Bryan Station got rained out last night. Rain came in right at the time for first pitch. Here's the 1-1. It's high for ball 2. Luckily able to get this game in tonight. So 2 balls, 1 strike is the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Two balls and 2 strikes is to count. Here's the pitch. And it's called strike 3. Strikeout number 1. That brings up number 2, Jordan Carter, senior with 48 at-bats, 11 hits, 6 runs, 7 RBIs, a .229 batting average. First pitch to Jordan Carter. Outside, ball 1. And it's outside again for ball 2. Scott County's middle infield. Sebastian Arden, shortstop, and Will Rose, second baseman, playing back on the grass. The 2-0 is called strike 1. Parker Dotson and Garrett Sparks, third and first baser, playing even and behind the bag. 2-1 pitch, and it's fouled straight back into the net. 2 balls and 2 strikes is to count. Not a lot of wind here. It's dark and some rain clouds, but they're coming this way. Here is the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 2, or strike 3. So back to 2 strikeouts. That brings up Siobhan Robinson, the second baseman, number 21. Senior with 47 at-bats this season. 16 hits, 11 runs, 4 RBIs, a .340 batting average. Here's the first pitch to Robinson. Shows the bunt, and he misses the ball. That'll be strike 1. Robinson steps back into the box. Here's the pitch from Wilhite. Swing and a miss. Excuse me, the count is 1 ball, 1 strike. He called that first pitch a ball. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs. Swing and a miss, strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs away here in the top of the first inning. Wilhite gets a sign from Huffman. Now here's the pitch. And that ball is fouled straight back into the net. So the count remains 1-2. Wilhite shaking off the signs from Luke Huffman. Robinson calls time and stepped out of the box. Now he's back in the box. Here's the 1-2. That ball is fouled back and out of play. Back to back foul balls from Robinson. Count remains 1-2. Here's the pitch. And it's outside for ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Now, here's the pitch. And it's high for ball 3. 1-2 turns into 3-2. Here is the 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So the top of the first inning, Bryan Station scores 0 runs on no hits, no errors from Scott County, and no runners are left on base. 3 strikeouts in the top of the first for Scott County. They're up to bat. We return in the bottom of the first inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. Three balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. And it's high for ball 4. Arden will take first base.
Now batting the center fielder, number 8, Justin Stevenson.
That brings up number 8, Justin Stevenson, the center fielder. Justin comes to his game with 53 at-bats, 10 hits, 17 runs, 4 RBIs, and 189 batting average. Here's the first. Brooks is going to go to Will Hoyt, try to pick off Sebastian Arden at first base. The throw not in time. Here's the first pitch to Stevenson. It's called strike one. Brooks goes back to Will Hoyt to pick off Arden. Throw again is not in time. Brooks goes to Will Hoyt for a third time, and Arden is able to get by the tag. A close play there at first. Arden was getting his secondary lead at first base. Brooks went to pick off, and Arden got back. So no balls and 1 strike is to count to Scott County's batter, Justin Stevenson. And now Brooks will balk, which moves Sebastian Arden up to second base. He dropped the ball somehow there. Stevenson gets his sign from Coach Willard at first base and steps into the box. Here's the pitch from Brooks. Stevenson's going to show the bunt. He throws it over his head. Wilkerson behind the plate throws the Carter, the shortstop. He wasn't covering second base, so Arden gets back without a slide. So 1 ball, 1 strike. Stevenson shows the bunt again. Arden's going to take third. It's called a strike, and nobody is covering third base. So Arden moves up to third. That's strike 2 against Justin Stevenson. One ball, 2 strikes, runner on third. Here's the 1-2, and it's high for ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. The wind is picked up now. Here's the 2-2, and it's low for ball 3. Good leave there from Justin Stevenson. Wind is blowing in toward home plate from right field. Here is 3-2 pitch. And that ball is fouled out of play down the third base line. So the count remains full, 3-2. Here's a 3-2 pitch. Stevenson hits that ball into left field, and it is just foul. Three-two is still the count. Here's a pitch from Brooks. And Stevenson stays alive with another foul ball. The count is still full. Brooks comes set. Here's the pitch. And Stevenson fouls it off again. Again, the count is 3-2. Here's the pitch. And it's low away in the dirt. Gets away from Wilkerson behind the plate. And Sebastian Arden is going to come in from third base. It's going to put the first run of the board, or of the game, on the board for Scott County. Samuel Wilkerson, the catcher for Bryan Station, goes out. He's going to talk with Bryce Brooks, the catcher. Now he makes his way back to home plate. Up to bat for Scott County, the second baseman, number 2, Will Rose. Will has 67 at-bats this season, 24 hits, 20 runs scored, 17 RBIs, a .358 batting average. First pitch to Will. Outside. Ball 1. Here's the 1-0. And it's outside again for ball 2. It's a 2-0. Stevenson's going to take second base. That ball is in the dirt. No play at second. 3 balls, no strikes is the count. Three balls, no strikes. The pitch. Will is taking. That'll be strike 1. (3-1), no outs. Brooks comes set. Here's the pitch. Rose hits that one to Carter, the shortstop. He throws over to Austin Davis, the Bryan Station third baseman. Davis puts the tag on Stevenson. That'll be out number 1. Scott County puts a runner on first.
Now batting the first baseman, number 4, Garrett Sparks.
Out will come Bryan Station's coach. He's going to have a mound visit here. He is talking with Wilkerson and Brooks, the catcher-pitcher. He's going to break that mound visit, head back to the dugout. Will Rose makes his way to first. And number 4, Garrett Sparks, makes his way back to home plate. He's the first baseman today for Scott County. He has 55 at-bats this season, 20 hits, 8 runs scored, 14 RBIs, a 364 batting average. Brooks goes to Will Hoyt, the first baseman, to pick off Rose. The throw not in time. Brooks goes to Will Hoyt again. The throw not in time. First pitch to Garrett. Way inside. One 0. Here's the pitch. Outside. Ball 2, a delayed steal from Will Rose. The throw from Wilkerson to Robinson, the second baseman, is in time. That is out number 2 of the bottom of the first inning. 2 balls, no strikes is the count for Garrett Sparks, the Scott County batter. That's in the dirt for ball 3. (3-0). Here's the pitch. A take there from Garrett. Called strike 1. Three balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch from Brooks. Garrett hits that one down the third base line. It is foul. So now the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here is the 3-2 from Brooks. Garrett fouls that one straight back into the net. Count is still 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And it's fouled off. Hits off a Wilkerson glove, the catcher. Unable to make the catch. The count remains full at 3-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the pitch. And it's up and in for ball 4. The third walk of the game from Bryce Brooks. That brings up number 25, Parker Dotson, the left-handed batter. 41 at-bats this season, 9 hits, 8 runs, 5 RBIs, a .220 batting average. First pitch to Parker, high for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Big lead from Garrett at first base. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Parker calls time. Now he's back in the box. Here's the 1-1. Ball is fouled. Out of play over the Bryan Station dugout in the third base line. The count remains 1-2. Here's the 1-2 from Bryce Brooks. It's high and outside for ball 2. Two is high and out for ball 3. Wilkerson behind the plate had to stand all the way up to catch that ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Garrett Sparks going to take second base. Parker Dotson hits that ball into shallow right center field. Garrett will round third, and Coach Willard puts up the stop sign. So a single from Parker Dotson. Puts runners on first and third for the Cardinals.
Now batting the right fielder, number 7, Keegan Hurt.
That brings up number 7, Keegan Hurt. He is playing right field today for Scott County. 38 at-bats this season with 9 hits. 8 runs scored, 6 RBIs, a .237 batting average. Here is the first pitch to Keegan Hurd. First, Brooks is going to go to Will Hoyt. Try to pick off Parker Dotson. He dives back in time. Marshall Brooks, the Bryan Station pitcher, has thrown to first quite a bit this game. Now he comes set. He steps to Davis at third base. He turns quickly to Will Hoyt, the first baseman. No, none of these Scott County runners are far enough off the base for a throw. First pitch to Keegan Hurt is fouled off. So Coach Willard tells Keegan Hurt, step out and meet down the line, and Willard's gonna talk to Keegan Hurt. Now they're back their spots. Keegan Hurt in the box. He awaits the 0-1 pitch from Brooks. Here it is. It is hit down the third base line to Davis. He comes through. Throws across to Will Hoyt. The throw is in time for out number 3. In the bottom of the first inning, Scott County scores 1 run on 1 hit. No errors from Bryan Station. 2 runners are left on base to score. Scott County 1, Bryan Station 0. We'll be right back with the top of the second inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk.
Now batting first baseman.
We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex at the campus of Scott County High School for Scott County versus Bryan Station. Headed into the top of the second inning. Scott County leads 1-0. Up to bat for the defenders, number 36, Logan Wilhoit. First pitch to him. Big swing and a miss. Wilhoit has 42 at-bats this season, 5 runs, 8 hits, 5 RBIs, a 190 batting average. The 0-1 to him. Outside called, strike 2. Here is the 0-2 pitch. And it's way high for ball 1. One ball and 2 strikes is the count. Here's the pitch. And it's low for ball 2. Two balls and 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. And that's ball 3. Little low there. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That brings up the pitcher, number 22, Bryce Brooks. He has 36 at-bats this season, 6 runs on 7 hits, 4 RBIs, a 194 batting average. First pitch to Brooks. Called strike 1. Here's the 0-1. The ball is fouled back into the net for strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch from Wilhoit. Way outside in left-handed batter's box for ball 1. Here's the 1-2. It's outside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes is now the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 outs away here in the top of the second inning. Brings up the catcher, number 7, Samuel Wilkerson. He comes into this game with 28 at-bats, 3 runs on 6 hits, 2 RBIs, a 214 batting average. First pitch to him. In the dirt for ball 1. Here is the 1-0 pitch. It's low for ball 2. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Called strike 1. Here's the 2-1. That ball is fouled. Straight back into the net for strike 2. It's a count now. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And 2 outs here in the top of the second. Here is the pitch from Wilhite. The ball is hit down the first base line. Garrett Sparks fields it, and he'll step on first base for out number 3.
Bryan Station, the top of the second. No runs, no hits.
Bryan Station scores no runs on no hits, no errors from Scott County. 0 runners left on base. The score, Scott County 1, Bryan Station 0 as we head into the bottom of the second inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex, campus of Scott County High School for Scott County versus Bryan Station. Scott County leads 1-0 headed into the bottom of the second inning. Up to bat for the Cardinals, the designated hitter, number 14, Seth Jean. First pitch is ball 1. Seth comes to this game with 51 at-bats, 7 hits, 5 runs scored, 8 RBIs, 137 batting average. Second pitch is strike 1. Here is the 1-1 from Brooks. Swing and a miss, strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes is the count. Here is the pitch. Well, Seth Jean calls time and steps out of the box. Steps into the box now. He awaits the 1-2 pitch from Brooks. He hits that ball into deep right field. Hale, the Bryan Station right fielder, calls for it. Doesn't make the catch. Seth, or he does make the catch, excuse me. Thought the ball got down. But Hale makes the catch. That is out number 1.
Now batting the catcher, number 34, Luke Huffman.
1 out away here in the bottom of the second inning. Up to bat for Scott County, number 34, Luke Huffman. He has 16 at-bats this season, 6 hits, 5 RBIs, a .375 batting average. First pitch to Luke is ball 1. The 1-0 is popped up down the right field line. First baseman Will Hoyt catches it in foul territory. That's out number 2. That brings up the left fielder, number 3, Carson Murray. Carson has 24 at-bats this season. 6 hits, 6 runs scored, 3 RBIs. That ball is hit to Carter, the shortstop. He throws across to Wilhoit. The throw is offline. Wilhoit comes off the bag. Doesn't get the tag on Carson Murray. So he'll be safe at first.
Now batting the shortstop, number 1, Sebastian Arden.
Scott County now back to the top of their lineup with number 1, Sebastian Arden. Sebastian walked in his first at-bat of this game. First pitch of a second at-bat is high for ball 1. Brooks goes to Wilhoit, the first baseman. Murray dives back in time. (1-0). Murray's going to take second base. It's called strike 1. Carson slides in safely. The throw from Wilkerson, the catcher, bounced in between second base and the pitcher's mound. So 1 ball, 1 strike is the count to Arden. Scott County's leadoff tonight. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Arden hits that ball into straight away center field. Jones charging back, and he catches it on the warning track. 4 out, number 3. Scott County scores 0 runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner is left on base in the bottom of the second inning. We'll be right back with the top of the 3rd inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We're back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex on the campus of Scott County High School for Scott County versus Bryan Station. Headed into the top of the 3rd inning. Scott County leads 1-0. Up to bat for the defenders, number 15, Eli Hale. He comes to this game with 12 at-bats, 1 run, 4 hits, 4 RBIs, and a .333 batting average. Here is the first pitch to Hale. That ball is hit into left field. Carson Murray playing way in, and that ball is going to get down, roll to the fence. Hale rounds first, and he will hold up on second base. Carson Murray was playing way in toward the infield on that. That's the first hit, first base runner of the night for Bryan Station. That brings up number 6, Jace Jones, the center fielder for Bryan Station. First pitch to him. He chose to bunt, and it is fouled off.
Now batting number 3, the center fielder, Jace Jones.
Jones comes into this game with 14 at-bats, 6 runs scored, 2 hits, a 143 batting average. He is a sophomore. Here's the 0-1. Shows the bunt again, and it is in foul territory. Again, down the third baseline. Parker Dotson picks that ball up. Here is the 0-2 pitch from Wilhite to Jones. Ball is hit back up the middle. Wilhite fields it, throws to Parker Dotson. They've got Eli Hale caught in the rundown. Parker runs at him and tags him out. 4 out, number 1.
Now batting the third baseman, number 1, Austin Davis.
Out batting for Bryan Station is number 1, Austin Davis, the third baseman. He comes into this game with 40 at-bats, 4 runs scored, 5 hits, 125 batting average. First pitch, called strike 1. Here's the 0-1 to Davis. It's high and out. Ball 1. One ball, 1 strike. 1 out away here in the top of the third inning. Jace Jones gets his lead. First base, Wilhite throws over to Garrett Sparks. Jones able to dive back in time. One, the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. One ball, 2 strikes is the count. Here's the pitch. Jones goes to second. It's called strike 3. Jace Jones still second. The throw from Luke Huffman is offline. Bryan Station back to the top of the lineup with number 12, Haynes Ratliff, the left fielder. He struck out looking in his first at-bat. Now Bryan Station coach Eric Hagan comes down. He's going to talk with the home plate umpire, Mark Stevens. Luke Huffman makes his way back behind home plate for Scott County. Haynes Ratliff makes his way to the box. 2 outs away here in the top of the third. Here is the first pitch of Haynes Ratliff, second at bat. Called strike 1. Here is The 0-1 from Will Hyde. High and out. Ball 1. One ball, one strike. Here is the 1-1. He's hit down the first base line. Garrett Sparks fields it, and he'll step on first base for out number 3.
On the top of the third, Bryan Station, no runs on 1 hit, no errors.
Bryan Station scores. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 1 runner is left on base. The score, Scott County 1, Bryan Station 0. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 3rd inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex, the campus of Scott County High School, for Scott County versus Bryan Station. Headed into the bottom of the 3rd inning. Scott County leads 1-0. Up to bat for the Cardinals, number 8, Justin Stevenson, center fielder. First pitch is spiked in front of home plate. Justin walked in his first at-bat of this game. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Here is the 1-1 pitch from Brooks. That ball is fouled down the third base line. Strike number 2. One ball, 2 strikes is the count to Stevenson. Here's the pitch. That ball is way high for ball 2. 2-2, the count. Brooks spikes that one in the dirt again to make the count full. 3-2. Here is the 3-2 from Brooks to Stevenson. And that is high for ball 4. Stevenson walks in back-to-back at-bats. That brings up the second baseman, number 2, Will Rose.
Now batting number 2, the second
Will
baseman, Will
singled
Rose.
on a fielder's choice to Jordan Carter, the shortstop, in his first at-bat of this game. Bryan Station is sending somebody to the bullpen. Justin gets his lead at first base. First pitch to Will is ball 1. Here is the 1-0 pitch. Brooks goes to Will Hoyt, the first baseman. Stevenson dives back in time. Brooks goes to Will Hoyt again, trying to pick off Justin Stevenson. One ball, one strike. Brooks spikes that one, hits off of Wilkerson's knee pad. Stevenson's going to round second. He's headed sharp to third base, but he holds up. He'll be on second base. Rain starting to come down now here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex. See, all the fans are moving under the shelter here. It covers the top section of the bleachers. The 2-0 pitch is outside for ball 3. Here's a 3-0 pitch from Brooks. It's high for ball 4. Another runner on base for Scott County. Out will come Bryan Station head coach Eric Hagan to make a pitching change. We'll be right back. After this pitching change, this is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex after that pitching change. Bryan Station brings in 8th grader, number 51, Tucker Oakley. 5.1 innings this season. 7 hits, 5 runs. All 5 of those are earned. 6 strikeouts and a 6.56 ERA. Up to bat for Scott County, Garrett Sparks. He shows the bunt, pulls back. It's ball 1. Here's the 1-0. It's high for ball 2. The rain really starting to come down here now. Get Sparks. That's back into the box. The count is 2-0. He fouls that one off. That's strike 1. Garrett Sparks pops that one up. Jordan Carter, the shortstop, calls for it over toward third base. He'll make the catch. That's out number 1. Justin Stevenson was well on his way to third base, but he was able to get back to second in time. Justin remains on second, Will on first. That brings up number 25, Parker Dodson, for Scott County. Singled on a pop fly to right center field in his first at bat. Here is the first pitch of his second. Scott County runners are going to steal. Wilkerson fakes the throw to second base. No throw anywhere else.
Terry. Seat right here if you want it.
Here's the 1-0 pitch to Dotson, and it's called strike 1. One ball, 1 strike. 1 out. Runners on second and third for Scott County. Here's the pitch, and it is fouled off toward the Bryan Station dugout on the third base line. Looks like it's raining even harder now. That ball got away from Tucker Oakley. It rolled through the infield grass, so he's going to change it out for a dry ball. The count, 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out away here in the bottom of the third. Runners on second and third. Here's the pitch from Oakley, and it's fouled back into the net. The count remains 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes is still the count. Here's the pitch, and it's in the dirt for ball 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, and throwback from Wilkerson, the catcher, to Oakley. Here's the 2-2 pitch, and it's outside for ball 3. Parker Dodson works a 1-2 count. to a 3-2 count. Here is the 3-2 from Oakley. And it's low and inside. Excuse me. That was ball 3. The throw from Wilkerson gets away. And that will bring in another run for Scott County. It's Justin Stevenson from third base. Will Rose holds up on second. The throw came in from Robinson, the second baseman. So Scott County now leads 2-1, or 2-0, excuse me. The count is now full at 3-2 for Parker Dotson, the left-handed batter. And that ball is called strike 3 for out number 2. That's the first strikeout of the game from Bryan Station. Second out of this bottom of the third inning. Brings up the right fielder, number 7, Keegan Hurt. Grounded out to Austin Davis, the third baseman, in his first at-bat of this game. Here is the first pitch of a second, and it's called strike 1. Rain still holding on. Here, field gets darker. More rain puddles on the. So 0-1 is the count. Will Rose is going to take third. That pitch will hit Keegan Hurt. Will Rose has to go back to second. Runners now on first and second for Scott County, and that brings up designated hitter number 14, Seth Jean. He flew out to deep right field in his first at-bat. Steps into the box now for his second at-bat. But first, Bryan Station coach Eric Hagan is going to call time and bring his infielders in to talk to him. The rain continues to pick up here. Coach Hagan makes his way back to the Bryan Station dugout. Seth Jean steps back into the box now for his second at-bat. Will Rose on first. Will Rose on second. Keegan Hurt on first. Here's the first pitch. First, Oakley steps off of the rubber. Steps back on now. Seth Jean still waits his first pitch. Here it is. Called strike 1. Oh, 1. That ball is behind Seth. Will Rose and Keegan Hurt move up. So now the field umpire Ty Brown and home plate umpire Mark Stevens are going to meet and talk about this rain. They're going to say it's okay. The rain appears to slow down now a little bit, thankfully. The count is 1 ball, 1 strike. Scott County runners now on second and third. Seth Jean, the batter. Here's the pitch, and it bounces in the left-handed batter's box for ball 2. Good block there by Wilkerson, the catcher. Keep runners on the bases for Scott County. They come out with dry baseballs for the home plate umpire. 2 balls, 1 strike is the count. Here it is. And it's inside. Called strike 2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here is the pitch from Tucker Oakley. Low and away for ball 3. So count is full. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Wilkerson drops it, picks it up, and he tags out Seth Jean. That is out number 3 of the bottom of the 3rd inning. Scott County scores 1 run, no hits, 1 error from Bryan Station, and 2 runners are left on the base for Scott County. Scott County leads 2-0 after 3 complete innings. We'll be right back with the top of the 4th inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex, Scott County High School. Scott County versus Bryan Station. A little delay there. They tried to dry up some of the water around home plate. Up to bat for Bryan Station, number 2, Jordan Carter, the shortstop. He struck out swinging in his first at bat. First pitch of his second is ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That ball is hit on the line to Sebastian Arden, the shortstop. He catches it. That'll be out number 1.
Stepping to the plate, number 21, the second baseman, Jay Robinson.
Brings up number 21, Shea Robinson. The second baseman, he struck out swinging in his first at bat. First pitch of his second. Low and in for ball 1. Here is the 1-0. That ball is high and out for ball 2. Here's the 2-0. Ball way in for ball 3. Here's a 3-0 from Will Hyde. Shows the bunt. And he pulls back. It's called strike 1. Here's a 3-1. And it's called strike 2. Will Hyde works back from a 3-0 count to a 3-2. Here's the pitch. And Robinson fouls that one straight back. Three balls, 2 strikes. Will Hyde gets a sign from Huffman behind the plate. Here's the pitch. Robinson fouls that one off into the backstop again. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Low and in. That'll be ball 4 for Shea Robinson. This is just the third base runner of the game for Bryan Station. The first walk of the night from Will Hyde. That brings up the first baseman, number 36, Logan Wilhoit. He struck out swinging in his first at bat. Here is the first pitch of his second at bat. High and out, ball 1. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. Will Hyde goes over to Sparks, the first baseman. Tries to pick off Robinson. The throw not in time. Here's the 1-1. That ball is popped up. Parker Dotson, the third baseman, tracks that ball all the way to the fence. And it is out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes is the count. Here is the 1-2. Logan Wilhoit, the batter, calls time and steps out. Count 1-2 with 1 out away here in the top of the 4th. The pitch, breaking ball. Low for ball 2. Here's the 2-2. Robinson takes second. Wilhoit hits that ball into shallow right field. Will Rose, the second baseman, backpedals and makes the catch for out number 2. Robinson able to get back to first in time. Two outs away here in the top of the 4th. Runner on first. Up to bat is number 22, Bryce Brooks, the pitcher. Struck out swinging in his first at bat.
Now batting number 22, Bryce Brooks.
Bryce Brooks was the pitcher. He came out and was replaced by Oakley last inning. First pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 1. Wilhoit throws over to Garrett Sparks to keep Robinson close to the bag. Wilhoit goes to Sparks again. Not in time. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. To end the top of the 4th. Bryan Station scores 0 runs on no hits, no errors from Scott County. 1 runner is left on base. The score, Scott County 2, Bryan Station 0. We'll be right back with the bottom of the 4th inning. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk. We are back here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex campus of Scott County High School. Scott County versus Bryan Station. Delay there. We're working on the substitutions there. Bryan Station brings in 22 Bryce Brooks for center field. The center fielder, number 4, Hudson Staton, came into pitch. He's a sophomore with 18 innings this season, 20 hits, 16 runs, 11 earned, 24 walks, 15 strikeouts, and a 4.28 ERA. First pitch to Huffman is ball 1. The second pitch hits him, so he'll be on first. And out will come number 9, Colt Fields, to be the courtesy runner.
Now batting the left fielder, number 3, Carson Murray.
That brings up the left fielder, number 3, Carson Murray. He is the left fielder. He's sitting on a ground ball to shortstop Jordan Carter in his first at-bat of this game. Steps into the box now for his second. Here's the first pitch. The ball hit down the third base line to Austin Davis. He throws it to Robinson, the second baseman, who is covering second. It will get out Colt Fields, Luke Huffman's runner.
Now batting the shortstop, number 1, Sebastian Arden.
Scott County back to the top of their lineup with number 1, Sebastian Arden, the shortstop. He walked in his first at-bat, flew out to center field in his second. First pitch, Arden's third at-bat. Murray's going to go for second. The throw from Wilkerson, not in time. The rain starting to come down again here. Another delay here as they bring out some dry baseballs to the home plate umpire. This rain starts to come down again. One ball and no strikes is the count to Arden. Second pitch is called strike 1. Here is the 1-1 pitch. Will Hoyt, the first baseman, is playing on the grass. Staton goes to Carter, the shortstop. Throw not in time. The 1-1 is low and away for ball 2. Here is the 2-1. Arden with a big lead. And he is going, Carson Murray with the big lead at second. He stole third. That ball was low and away for ball 3. Three balls, 1 strike. Runner on third for Scott County. 1 out away. Arden, leadoff batter, set back into the box. Here's the pitch. Low in the dirt. Gets away from Wilkerson. That's ball 4. Runners now on first and third. That brings up the center fielder, number 8, Justin Stevenson. Rain comes down again. Now they're going to call time, sending teams to their dugout. We'll be delayed here for a second. We'll be right back when play resumes here at the Cardinal Baseball Complex. But for now, there is one out away. In the bottom of the 4th, Scott County leads 2-0. Runners on first and third. This is Scott County Baseball on Connor Sports Talk.